and welcome to Polish with Ray. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be sharing with you 10 beautiful winter polishes that are still available. So I started this series back in the fall and you all seem to really like the concept. Isn't it great when makers keep stuff around on their site and you don't have to experience FOMO or rush around for pre-order? You know, I love so many brands that do pre-order style and limited edition releases, but it brings me so much peace and relieves so much stress when I know polish releases are gonna continue to be available if I can't buy them today. So all the polishes I'm gonna be sharing with you in today's video are currently available and they will be available for the foreseeable future. So I will link them down in the description box. The one piece of feedback I got from doing this video back in the fall is I did 5 polishes for that video and you all said more. We want more polishes, more recommendations. So today I'm sharing 10 gorgeous winter shades and I kind of expanded it as well to include some mainstream and boutique picks too. All right, so let's start with mainstream options first. My first favorite comes from Morgan Taylor and it's called What's the Hang Up? This is a gorgeous light periwinkle blue cream. So if you've used Morgan Taylor before, you already know this has a great formula. Like all Morgan Taylors have an amazing formula. It's fully opaque in 2 coats. It was almost a 1 coater and it's like a dream to apply. And if I was going for a soft, light, airy winter aesthetic, this is the kind of polish I would want to reach for. What I love about this gorgeous blue shade is that it has just a drop of purple in it that makes it extra cool and extra chilly. And I think it's especially good transitioning from winter into spring. Believe it or not, this one was actually released in last year's fall collection from Morgan Taylor. It was a really interesting collection. It was half traditional fall shades and then half were kind of pastel. I knew I didn't want to wear this in the fall, so I decided to reach for it this winter and oh my goodness, I was so happy when this was on my nails. It's beautiful. The next shade is one from Essie and it's called Climbing High. Climbing High is a charcoal gray cream. So this also released outside of the winter season. You're gonna see that theme a little bit in this video. It actually released in a summer collection with a bunch of bright primary colors. There was a blue, red, yellow, and then there was also a green and a white. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, I want that, but not in the summer. So I've worn it as a pedicure, I've worn it as a manicure, both in the winter, and oh my goodness, if I'm in the mood for something dark and broody and moody, this is my shade. It's got a great formula too. It's on the crelly side, but it builds up beautifully in just a couple coats. And if you're a fan of shades that look almost black, but they're not, this is a great one. Most of the time I felt like I was wearing a super dark gray and I felt like it was very flattering. Sometimes I feel like the more mid-tone grays wash me out a little bit, so I was super happy to have this deeper one on my nails. And the final mainstream shade I have to share with you comes from Orly. It's called Written in the Stars. Written in the Stars is an icy blue with a strong silvery shimmer. So this also released outside the winter season. It released in a spring collection from Orly, I think a couple years ago. This has more of a jelly finish to it. It's light, it's sheer, almost sheer enough to be used as a topper in 1 coat, but that shimmer is pretty packed in there. It builds up to beautiful opacity for me at my nail length in just 3 coats, and it leaves this icy, snowy effect on the nails. It almost doesn't look blue. It's kind of a hybrid between a silver shade and a blue together. And even though the base color of this is a more aqua leaning blue, the shimmer really brings the chilly factor for me. Yeah, I think I would exclusively wear this in the winter time. You'll have to let me know in the comments if you disagree. Moving on to boutique shades, the next one is from Cirque Colors and it's called Spoonful of Sugar. Spoonful of Sugar has a dusty light blue base with a gorgeous shimmer that shifts purple to pink to gold, and it is packed with scattered holographic. Oh my goodness, this is a snowstorm in a bottle. These dusty blue bases just remind me of a gorgeous snowy day, and then the chilliness is intensified when you get the purple shift head on with the shimmer, and even the gold shift. It feels like the sun sparkling against the snow, and this is loaded with holographic. I feel even in normal lighting, my kitchen lighting, out in public at the grocery store, I still get gorgeous holographic from this polish. It actually also was not a winter release. This released in April with the Twisted Tea Party collection. If you haven't seen that collection, you're missing out. It's all this finish and mostly like brighter colors. I'll link it if you haven't seen it. But this one, as soon as I unboxed the collection, I was like, oh, I wish I would have gotten that like a couple months ago. Because it's always felt very wintry to me. It is a little sheer in 3 coats, but it's got so much sparkle and shimmer, I do not really care. Next up from Mooncat, we've got Curiosity's Prey. This one has a very, very, very light gray base. It pretty much looks white. It's packed with iridescent flakes and scattered holographic pigment. You all know I love white in the winter. Oh my goodness, I love white anytime. But white polish in the winter, it just feels right with the snow, right? And this is one of the most complex white Crowleys I own. The fact that it has flakes, shimmer, and holographic, and they don't compete. Like most of the time, most of my whites are shimmer and hollow, or maybe flaky and hollow, or just flakies, or just glitters, but not 3 different finishes in the same bottle. Mooncat did it, and it works. Like they all just meld together. I think it's because the flakies are pretty small. They just blend in with the shimmer so well. And then the holographic just adds a soft, occasionally there kind of twinkle. It is beautiful. This one was perfect in 3 coats. It had a great formula and I want to wear it again. And then my last boutique pick comes from ILNP. It is Eclipse H. This is a twist on the very classic ILNP shade called Eclipse. It's that same black to red to copper at extreme angles multichrome, but with their holographic scattered flakies. So I actually find myself reaching for the hollow version of Eclipse more than the original. I'm not a big multichrome person. The original is beautiful, but like the hollow draws me in. Because in lower lighting, you get those gorgeous shifts from black to red and then to copper, but when you take it into sunlight and you can see the rainbows too, oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. And I adore ILNP's holographic pigment. Just their flakies are so irregular in size, it adds like a lot of spontaneity to this more serious color. I've had my bottle for a while, so it's thickened up, but mine was fully opaque for me in 2 coats. I love that. And I really like the red glow that you get at certain angles with this. I thought it was so pretty. I know a lot of people would reach for a red to black multichrome around like Halloween, fall, but for me, like when I look at this polish, it reminds me of a smoky fireplace. Oh, I love it. And finishing up with some gorgeous indie shades. The first one comes from Stella Chroma and it's called Blue Velvet. Blue Velvet has a cobalt blue base, some gorgeous blue shimmer, and it dries down matte. So when I need a break from the really dark and gloomy shades, the grayed out shades, or my super light whites, I want a jewel tone, and I'm just loving Stella Chroma Blue Velvet. It has a gorgeous formula. It's fully opaque in 2 coats, really easy to work with. I know some matte polishes dry down really quickly. That's not my experience with Stella Chroma's matte shades. And this one just has so much punch to it. And something about wearing like jewel tones this time of year just gives me like, I don't know, like winter party, decadence, elegance, fanciness. Like, I don't know. I really love this tone of blue and it dries down so well matte. Like, I love a glossy shade. I like this one just as much mattified. It's one I need to add to my winter rack. Like, I would love to get this on this season. Next from KB Shimmer, we have Up to Snow Good. This one has a really light gray base. It's almost white with a stunning blue shimmer. It's got holographic flakes and holographic micro glitter. So I have so many shades like this. Off the top of my head, Wildflower Lacquer Moonstone, Cert Colors Mystic Moonstone, Bee's Knees Lacquer I Will Devour All of You, Mooncat Head in the Clouds, and probably about 4 others. But this one is special. I love the combination of holographic in here. Like, the holographic flakes add a little bit of shine and some depth and dimension where you get mostly the rainbows and sparkles from the holographic glitter. The shimmer glows in brighter lighting and it contrasts really beautifully against that soft light base. These kind of white shades just remind me of snow, and this I feel like is one of the snowiest polishes I have. It's just so chilly, and like I said, the different components really add a lot of dimension and interest. I need to look up when this released though, because it hasn't released since I've swatched for KB Shimmer, and it's still available. So thank you, KB Shimmer, for keeping your polishes around for like 5+ years, because that's amazing. Up next we have Polish Me Silly Paradise. Paradise is described as a multi-chrome that shifts teal to purple, but I see so many different shifts in here. I see shifts to blue, green, there's pink and gold. It is truly a rainbow. So if you want a good giggle, you need to check out the webpage and the description for this polish. It seriously had me almost crying. Like, I think, I'm not kidding, the description says, this is the most, in all caps, this is the most amazing multi-chrome you will ever have. And I have to say, like, I kind of agree. I actually like compared it to a few other multi-chromes I have in that teal to purple shift in my collection, and ended up destashing them because this one was just so good. I really like how fine the multi-chrome pigment is. It looks like an oil slick, and the shifts are just so exaggerated. Like, you can really see the shift to gold so clearly. It's just so shifty. There are so many colors. When I had to take it off because it was chipping, I wanted to put it right back on. It's amazing. And the final polish I have to share with you comes from Cuticula. It is called By Its Glow. By Its Glow has a purpley blue base. It's like a very dusty kind of steely lavender color. It's got multi-chrome flakes that shift red to copper to gold to green, and it is packed with scattered holographic as well. So this polish is so complex. I could not look at the bottle, and it's not because it has ugly bottle syndrome, but I could not look at the bottle and tell you what exactly is in here. Like, of course I see the shift in the multi-chrome flakes, but like, there's just a lot going on. And by the way, I feel like the best time of year to wear multi-chromes and multi-chrome flaky polishes is in the winter, because it's so dark and overcast, you get lots of shifts all the time. But yeah, this one has such a strong shift from that red to copper to gold to green pigment, that multi-chrome pigment, and it contrasts beautifully against the like cool tone of that purpley gray base. And then when you take it into sunlight, you get some added holographic too. So I just feel like there's a lot going on. I love these contrasting colors. It gives you like kind of some juxtaposition. And I just feel like this just, it ticks all the boxes. Like, I never get bored with these really dense Cuticula flaky polishes on my nails. There's just so much going on. This one, I think I did need 3 coats to reach full opacity, but they were 3 really easy coats. So those are all the polishes I have to share with you today. Let me know down in the comments what you thought of them. Are you planning to pick any of them up? Do you already own some of them? Because a lot of you said about the fall version of this video that you loved the concept, not only because you could pick up these shades at a later date, but also because it inspired you to shop your stash a little bit, because they were shades that you maybe already owned but kind of forgot about. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye!